Hello, this is Johnny from Johnny's Snowplow Services. Today is February the 18th, 2018, and it is exactly 2 years that I went into the hospital with a critical illness called ARDS, which stands for acute respiratory distress syndrome. And I would like to think that being a strong-willed person and pretty determined that I was going to make it, and with the help of my family, right there's my beautiful family. With the help of my family is the reason why I believe that I made it through. How I developed ARDS was I came down with a cold, or so I thought. Turns out it was Influenza A, and right now the flu virus is going rampant right now. Everybody should get their flu shots every year and their pneumonia shot, because what I'm about to tell you sure changed my opinion on it, because I was never one to get the flu shot or pneumonia shots. You know, I would get sick for a day and then I'd be back on my feet again, one of those type of people, but a lot's changed since then. So I went in the hospital with a Influenza A, which within 24 hours quickly turned into a double pneumonia, filled up both of my lungs, and they told my wife that I had a 2% chance of survival. And I'm not sure what happened after that, but they put me in an induced coma for, well, I was admitted on the 18th of February, and I woke up March the 15th, and then I was released from the hospital April the 15th, and basically I was on my back. I had to use a walker to start out. I couldn't walk. I had to teach myself how to walk again. And like I said, I'm a pretty determined person, and now it's 2 years later. I still have to use oxygen. But it's not as much. Like when I first got out of the hospital, I had to wear oxygen all the time, daily, and now I don't need to use it as much, but I still sleep with it at night, and the odd time when I overexert myself. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I'm a business owner, and I've worked for a paving company, and eventually worked my way up to a foreman after 20 years of working in the paving and construction industry. And I was just a couple years into being a foreman, and that's when I got sick. I was with the union, and honestly, because it was in the middle of the winter when I got sick, is usually when I run my business, snow removal business. And that really put a stop to things real quick, because for a few months I didn't even know what was going on. Luckily, I had some helpers that kind of basically took over. My wife was a big part of that. I don't know what I would do without her, or the rest of my family. They were such a big help, which is really important to me. And slowly I got myself back onto my feet. I was with oxygen, and I couldn't barely walk for a whole summer. I come September, from the time I got out of the hospital in April come September, I was actually finally able to start getting out of the house and doing things. So needless to say, I put on quite a bit of weight and I'm still struggling trying to get it off. But at the same time, you know, like I said, it's a slow process, and you know, I'm hoping that in a bit of time that I'll be back to the way I was, because that's a big issue with me. I'm not used to sitting on my ass at home. You know, I'm used to being out working, and you know, right out of high school I've been working, and I've never once had to write a resume. You know, so I mean, it's tough for me to be able to have to stand back and, you know, slow down a bit, right? Anyways, I just want people to know out there that no matter what happens, there's always barriers in life, and there's some things out there that will kind of knock you back a few paces. But if you're determined and strong-willed enough, you can get past those barriers and try and figure out a way around things, and try to figure out how to get yourself back sort of to the way you were, and you know, hopefully you won't struggle too hard to do that. It's been quite a struggle with me. You know, basically my income has been cut in half. But you know, the way I go about things lately is that you know, I take it one day at a time. And like I said, today, February the 18th, is a 2-year anniversary of the day I almost didn't come home. So I'm just happy to be here. And you know, I want to thank my friends and my family and anybody else in the background that's had a big part of, you know, giving me a reason to be here, especially my granddaughters. I have 2 beautiful granddaughters, and they mean the world to me, and don't know what I would do if I couldn't be here for them. Anyways, ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome. A lot of people don't make it back from that, and I just want to say that no matter what the issue is, hopefully you can get over your barrier and get back to yourself, because that's the most important thing. Thanks.